As the years pass, many individuals begin to feel the subtle yet persistent weight of aging. This sensation often extends beyond the physical body and touches the very core of one's being, the soul. Aging is commonly seen as a time of decline, but it is not the mere passage of time that drains the spirit. Instead, it is the accumulation of unresolved burdens, unexamined habits, and a disconnection from the true essence of life that causes this depletion. These emotional and spiritual drains are not always immediately noticeable, but silently erode our vitality as we grow older. The 5 main drains on the soul: regret, fear, isolation, attachment, and resistance, are central to this experience. Regret over past choices, fear of mortality, the loneliness that comes with isolation, attachment to material possessions, and resistance to inevitable change all contribute to a sense of spiritual exhaustion. However, the teachings of Zen and Buddhism offer pathways to reclaim the soul's vitality. These philosophies suggest that by embracing mindfulness, meditation, and acceptance of impermanence, we can begin to release these drains and restore balance to our lives. As we explore these 5 drains, we will uncover how these emotional and spiritual challenges shape our aging experience, and how Buddhist wisdom can provide the tools to regain a sense of peace, purpose, and vitality. Let's begin by examining the first drain: regret. Regret is a heavy burden that often follows individuals into old age, quietly weighing down the spirit. This feeling, linked to past mistakes, missed opportunities, and unresolved moments, can create a chain that binds the soul to what is already past. It is said that regret keeps the mind trapped in a loop of what could have been, preventing one from truly living in the present. The more we dwell on our errors or unmet dreams, the more we deplete our energy and vitality. It can even cause emotional numbness, leaving us feeling disconnected from the joy of the present moment. The act of constantly revisiting past regrets can feel like an anchor, weighing us down and leaving us unable to experience the freedom of living fully. Yet, regret is not something we must carry forever. Zen teachings offer a path to healing and liberation, emphasizing the importance of forgiveness and self-compassion. The first step in overcoming regret is to forgive oneself. Zen masters suggest practicing zazen, a form of seated meditation, to clear the mind and allow us to see our regrets not as burdens, but as lessons that can lead to growth. It's not about erasing the past, but about releasing its grip on our current lives. By embracing meditation, we open ourselves to a space of reflection where regret can be acknowledged, but not allowed to define who we are. Letting go of regret doesn't erase the past. Instead, it frees the spirit to embrace the present and future. This process is not a denial of the past, but a conscious choice to move forward with clarity and peace. The act of releasing regret opens the door to new opportunities for growth, joy, and vitality. It invites us to be fully engaged in the present, aware of the lessons of the past, but no longer burdened by them. As we continue, we will explore another force that drains the soul: the fear of mortality. As we age, the awareness of mortality becomes more pronounced, casting a long shadow over the later stages of life. The inevitability of death, once a distant concept, now feels closer and harder to ignore. This fear is not just a fear of physical decay, but a deeper existential dread, the fear that time is running out to live the life one envisioned. For many, the thought of mortality becomes a constant companion, draining the spirit and preventing the enjoyment of the present. The closer we get to the end of our journey, the more this fear seems to amplify, often manifesting in a constant sense of urgency, a belief that there isn't enough time to fulfill all our desires or to make amends with the past. This relentless anxiety over what is to come can rob us of the vitality and joy that the present moment offers. To address this fear in a practical way, Zen suggests several exercises. One such practice is to meditate on the impermanence of life. Picture a leaf falling from a tree, returning to the earth, where it becomes part of the soil that nourishes new life. This visualization helps to internalize the idea that life is a continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Every moment is a part of this flow, and nothing is permanent. When we stop clinging to the illusion of permanence, we free ourselves from the constant grip of fear. Moreover, embracing death in this way can dissolve the anxiety that comes with aging. Instead of fearing what is to come, we can focus on fully experiencing each moment, appreciating the beauty in the transient. Whether it's the soft glow of the setting sun or the laughter of a loved one, Zen teaches us to be present in the now. In doing so, we reclaim the vitality that comes from living fully in the moment, free from the draining fear of what might lie ahead. The practice of living intentionally, focused on the present, leads us into the next challenge that drains the soul: isolation. As people grow older, the feeling of isolation often becomes more pronounced. What may have once been a vibrant network of family, friends, and community can begin to fade, leaving many elderly individuals feeling disconnected and alone. This isolation can be one of the most profound emotional drains on the soul, contributing to a sense of purposelessness and diminishing overall well-being. As relationships shift, whether through death, relocation, or the natural ebb and flow of life, the absence of meaningful connection can leave a void that is difficult to fill. The days of shared laughter, companionship, and connection can slowly give way to an overwhelming sense of solitude. Zen and Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of community and connection, both to others and to oneself. In the Buddhist tradition, the concept of sangha, or community, is central to spiritual practice. An individual's journey is seen not as a solitary one, but as part of a larger web of interconnected beings. This idea speaks to the very core of human nature, the need to feel supported, understood, and connected. When the soul becomes isolated, it begins to wither, much like a plant deprived of sunlight and water. Zen masters remind us that meaningful connections, whether with others or through self-awareness, nourish the soul and keep it vibrant. Without these connections, a person can become like a tree that stands alone, barren, and unable to reach its full potential. To combat isolation, Zen offers practical solutions that encourage reconnection. Volunteering is one such remedy, providing a way to reach out and share compassion with others. By offering time or resources to help those in need, an individual reconnects not only with others, but with the sense of purpose that can sometimes be lost in later years. The act of helping others, whether through charity work or small, personal gestures, can reignite a sense of belonging that is essential for spiritual health. Meditation, particularly the practice of metta, loving-kindness meditation, is another tool to combat loneliness. This practice involves focusing on sending thoughts of love and goodwill, first to oneself and then outward to others, including those we may not know personally. This simple act fosters a sense of unity and belonging, even across distances, and reminds us that we are never truly alone in our experiences. Additionally, Zen teaches the importance of being present and cultivating an open heart. Instead of waiting for others to reach out, the practice of dana, or generosity, encourages individuals to initiate connections, whether through a kind word or a listening ear. This act of giving creates bridges where walls may have existed, nurturing both the giver and the receiver in the process. By taking the first step toward connection, a person can transform their feelings of isolation into opportunities for spiritual growth and connection. Zen's emphasis on compassion and mindfulness allows individuals to reclaim their vitality and find peace in the present moment. In our next section, we will explore another major drain on the soul: attachment to material possessions. As people age, the attachment to material possessions often becomes more pronounced. These possessions, whether they are heirlooms, personal items, or symbols of status, can take on a deeper meaning as one grows older. Over time, these objects begin to define a person's sense of self, filling the void left by lost connections, changing circumstances, and the uncertainty that comes with aging. However, the Buddhist teachings warn that attachment to things, including material possessions, is a major cause of suffering. In the pursuit of acquiring more, we inadvertently allow these possessions to weigh down our spirits. The more we cling to the physical world, the more we distance ourselves from the true nature of life, which is ever-changing and impermanent. Zen and Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of letting go of attachments, not only to objects but also to the false sense of security they provide. Attachment to possessions binds the mind to the material world, creating fear of loss and perpetuating feelings of greed and insecurity. The more we hold on to things, the less room there is for spiritual growth and peace. Over time, this attachment can exhaust the soul, preventing us from experiencing true freedom and contentment. It is said that when we become overly attached to things, we lose sight of what truly brings us joy, which is the freedom to live fully in the present moment. Zen masters teach that possessions are not inherently bad, but they should not define us or control our happiness. The practice of detachment, however, does not mean renouncing all material goods or becoming ascetic. Instead, it involves recognizing what truly adds value to our lives and letting go of what no longer serves us. By simplifying our lives, we make room for experiences, relationships, and personal growth that nourish the soul. One practical way to begin the process of detachment is through the act of letting go. Start by reflecting on the items in your home that you feel attached to. Choose one item each week to release, either by donating it or letting it go with gratitude. As you do this, you may begin to notice the space that is created, not just in your physical surroundings, but also in your heart. This practice of simplicity aligns with the Zen principle of less is more. By releasing the unnecessary, we allow ourselves to breathe freely and focus on what truly matters. In addition, cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness can help us recognize the deeper emotional attachments we have to possessions. Instead of focusing on what we lack or desire, we can shift our attention to the present moment in the things that bring true joy, such as meaningful connections with others, a sense of purpose, and the inner peace that comes from within. Zen meditation and reflection on impermanence help us release the grip of attachment and reconnect with the simplicity and freedom of the present. When we stop clinging to material possessions, we open ourselves to the possibility of living fully, without the burden of unnecessary weight. As we continue on this journey, the next challenge we will explore is the resistance to change, a natural force that can prevent us from embracing growth and transformation. As we age, resistance to change can become one of the most significant spiritual drains. The fear of letting go of the familiar, whether it's habits, people, or environments, creates a deep resistance within us. This resistance builds barriers in the mind, preventing growth and transformation. Zen teachings emphasize the natural flow of life and the importance of adapting to these changes. According to Zen philosophy, resistance to change is not strength, it is stagnation. The longer we cling to the past, the more we prevent ourselves from experiencing the fullness of life. The Buddha himself warned against this attachment to permanence, teaching that everything is impermanent, including ourselves. By resisting change, we essentially cut ourselves off from the opportunities that transformation brings. Resistance is an emotional and spiritual burden, one that stifles growth and creates tension in the soul. This tension manifests in the form of anxiety, fear, and a deep sense of dissatisfaction. The mind becomes rigid, unwilling to adapt, and the soul becomes weary. It is this unwillingness to flow with life that diminishes vitality. Change, however, is the very essence of existence. The seasons change, the days pass, and life evolves, whether we are ready for it or not. Zen masters remind us that we must learn to accept change as a part of the natural order, not something to fear or resist. To embrace change, we must first let go of the fear that comes with it. One practical method that Zen teachings offer is the practice of Wu Wei, which translates to effortless action. This does not mean passivity or inaction, but rather allowing ourselves to act in harmony with the natural flow of life. We are not forcing the change, but aligning ourselves with it. The practice of mindfulness helps in this process, allowing us to observe the changes around us without judgment or fear. By cultivating a mindset that is open to transformation, we can approach change with curiosity and acceptance rather than resistance. A key element of embracing change is learning to be flexible. Flexibility allows the spirit to remain resilient and adaptable rather than rigid and brittle. Just like a tree that bends in the wind without breaking, our hearts and minds must remain flexible to life's inevitable shifts. Zen teaches that by embracing the present moment, we can navigate change with grace. Instead of seeing change as a threat, we can view it as an opportunity for growth, learning, and renewal. As we move forward, the next step in reclaiming our vitality involves confronting the fear of mortality, a challenge that often accompanies aging. Reclaiming the soul is a journey that transcends age, one that can be embarked upon at any stage of life. Zen and Buddhist teachings offer profound wisdom on how to address the 5 major spiritual drains: regret, fear, isolation, attachment, and resistance. These drains, which affect us emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, can deplete our vitality if left unchecked. However, these teachings emphasize that spiritual vitality is not something we lose, but rather something we can reclaim through mindful practice and awareness. The key to reclaiming the soul lies in recognizing that these drains are not inevitable. They are the result of accumulated burdens, habits, and attachments. By letting go of regrets, embracing change, and releasing attachments to material possessions, we open ourselves to new possibilities and experiences. Zen's focus on mindfulness, meditation, and simplicity helps us reconnect with the present moment, allowing us to cultivate peace and spiritual well-being. Taking actionable steps such as meditating, practicing generosity, and cultivating loving kindness toward ourselves and others can significantly shift the way we experience life. It's through embracing the impermanence of life and letting go of what no longer serves us that we reclaim our spiritual energy. The process is not about turning back time, but about uncovering the timeless essence within. No matter our age, the soul's vitality can be reclaimed, bringing renewed joy, purpose, and a deeper connection to life's flow.